Greetings, brothers. Gather close to the forge. Feel its heat against your skin, its breath against your scarred palms. Let the smoke sting your eyes, for in that sting lies truth. We are the sons of fire, born not of privilege, but of trial. Every one of us, from the youngest initiate to the oldest forge father, has faced the same baptism, the trials by flame. They are not ceremony, nor tradition alone. They are our becoming. On other worlds, strength is measured by conquest or cunning. On Nocturne, it is measured by endurance. The flame does not ask if you are brave. It asks only if you can withstand. For the fires of our homeworld do not discriminate. They burn the weak and the strong alike, and in their judgment, we are made equal. From the moment we are chosen, we learn that pain is not our enemy. Pain is the forge, and we are the ore. The hammer that strikes us is the will of Vulcan himself, and only through its blows can we take form. So listen well, brothers, as I recount the trials that tempered us, the rites of flame, blood, and purpose that turned men into salamanders, and salamanders into fire eternal. Nocturne is no paradise. It is a realm of flame and shadow, of beauty twisted with terror. Volcanoes scar the horizon, their peaks wreathed in ceaseless smoke. Rivers of molten rock cut through obsidian plains like veins of living fire. The sky glows with the reflection of 1,000 infernos, and even the air carries the scent of ash. But do not mistake this world for lifeless. It thrives in its brutality. Every creature upon Nocturne is a survivor. The fire drakes that hunt beneath the lava flows, the ash wolves that roam the ridges, and the humans who build their homes in the shadow of death. Those humans are kin. Our first teachers live by the forge and the flame. They know the value of heat, the patience of the hammer, and the cost of survival. It is from them that we inherit our creed. When a child is born on Nocturne, the midwife holds the infant before the hearth fire and whispers, "May the flame find you worthy." From that moment, the child is watched. His courage, his compassion, his endurance, all are tested in the daily struggle against a world that wishes him dead. And when he comes of age, if he has proven strong of body and spirit, the black ships descend. The children who step aboard do not return not as they once were, for they go to face the trials by flame. The first trial begins in silence. The chosen are taken from their tribes, carried to the towering fortress monastery known as Hesiod's Wake, where the mountains bleed fire and the night sky is split by lightning. There, they stand in the circle of flame, the ring of becoming. There are no cheers, no oaths, no blessings, only the gaze of the chaplains and the hiss of molten rock. Each aspirant is handed a single piece of obsidian cold, sharp, black as the void. They are told, carry this until it becomes warm. Some do not understand. Some break the stone in frustration. Others clutch it until their blood stains the glass. But the lesson is not one of obedience, it is one of endurance. For on Nocturne, the stone will heat in its own time, drawn by the forge's breath and the heart's fire. Those who hold fast, who bleed without complaint, who endure the pain, their stones turn warm at last. And when that happens, the chaplains smile. It means they are ready. Ready for the fire pits, where the body will be broken and reforged. Ready for the trial of the Drake, where courage will be tested in the jaws of monsters. Ready for the crucible of ash, where only faith will keep the mind from shattering. Each trial strips away what is unnecessary: fear, doubt, weakness, until only the soul remains. And in that naked soul, the flame finds its vessel. The trial of the Drake is the most feared and the most sacred. The aspirants are taken into the burning plains of Ignea. where the lava flows like blood through the veins of the world. There, the air trembles with heat, and the very ground seethes beneath their feet. They are given no weapons, no armor, no food, only the obsidian blade they carried from the Ring of Becoming. Their task is simple: hunt the drake, slay it, bring back its tooth as proof. Simple, yes, but impossible for most. The fire drakes of Nocturne are ancient and terrible beasts, born of the planet's fury. Their scales are harder than ceramite, their breath molten death. To face one is to face the planet itself. I remember my trial. The ground cracked beneath me with each step, rivers of flame hissing at my feet. My brothers fell beside me, burned or broken, their cries swallowed by the roar of the beast. When I finally found my drake, it rose from a lake of magma, its eyes twin furnaces of hatred. I was small then, unarmored, unproven, but in its reflection, I saw myself raw, untempered, waiting to be shaped. It struck first, and I nearly died. The air itself burned, my skin blistered, my lungs filled with smoke, but I did not yield. I remembered the lesson of the forge. The metal does not choose the flame. The flame chooses the metal. I drove my obsidian shard into its eye, and the world became fire. When I awoke, I was scarred, but alive. Around my neck hung a single drake tooth, fused to the obsidian blade that had slain it. I had passed. That night, beneath the burning sky, I understood. The trial of the drake is not about victory, it is about endurance. The drake is not our enemy. It is our teacher. Through its fire, we are reborn. After the drake's trial, the survivors return to Hesiod's wake. They are not yet salamanders, not yet even Astartes. Their flesh still weak, their spirit still fragile. What comes next is the crucible of ash, the trial of the mind. For what good is strength if the spirit crumbles? What good is fire if it consumes rather than purifies? In the crucible, the aspirants are entombed within the caverns of flame. There, they are left alone in total darkness. Their only company, the whisper of the forge and the beating of their hearts. They are denied food, denied water, denied comfort. Days pass, weeks. Some go mad, clawing at the stone walls until their fingers bleed. Some pray to gods long forgotten. Some whisper to the shadows, believing they hear Vulcan's voice. The truth is simpler. The voice they hear is their own. The crucible burns away illusion. It strips the mind bare, forcing each to face what lies beneath fear, guilt, pride, grief. All are consumed in time, until only the ember of truth remains. Those who endure emerge changed. Their eyes burn with quiet fire, their voices steady as the forge. They no longer fear the dark, for they have carried the light within themselves. When they step into the sun again, they are greeted not with applause, but with silence. The chaplains nod. The artificers mark their flesh with the first scars of the Promethean path. And in that silence, the aspirant knows. He has passed through the fire and been found worthy. When the darkness lifts and the trials of the flesh and spirit are complete, the aspirants are brought to the forge sanctum deep beneath Hesiod's wake, where the heat of the world's heart roars against the walls. There, the final trial begins. This is no mere test of strength or courage. It is the forging of the Fireborn, the sacred act where man is unmade and reborn as something more. The forge sanctum is vast, carved from living obsidian, lit by rivers of magma that flow like molten gold. The air hums with energy. The song of the anvils, the hiss of tempering steel, the prayers of the artificers who serve as both priests and executioners of this ritual. Each aspirant kneels upon the anvil stone. Around him stand the Iron Fathers and the chaplains of flame, their armor wreathed in burning light. They chant the words of the Promethean litany, their voices echoing through the halls like thunder. From fire we are born. By fire we are tested. Through fire we endure. In fire we are reborn. The pain that follows is beyond imagining. The gene seed implantation begins organs grafted, flesh restructured, bone reforged. The aspirant's body is torn apart and rebuilt, every nerve aflame. Few survive the process. Those who do are changed forever. Their skin darkens, tempered by the radiation of Nocturne. Their eyes glow with emerald light, as if the forge itself peers through them. When I endured the ritual, I remember the sound of my heartbeat becoming one with the rhythm of the hammers. I remember the moment my screams fell silent, not from exhaustion, but from acceptance. I understood then what the flame had been teaching all along. That pain is the language of transformation. When the ritual ends, the ashes of those who did not endure are gathered and placed upon the forges, their remains fueling the next generation's fire. For in the Promethean creed, even in death, there is purpose. Those who rise from the anvil are the fire-born warriors of Vulcan, brothers of the forge, bound by scars and memory. And from that moment onward, we do not fear the fire. We are the fire. Every salamander carries his scars with pride. They are not marks of shame, but of devotion. When the flesh burns, it remembers. The skin becomes a scripture, each scar a verse in the living tome of sacrifice. We do not hide our wounds beneath perfection, as some chapters do. We wear them openly, that all may see the cost of endurance. The rites of scarring are performed at dawn, upon the summit of Mount Deathfire. There, beneath the gaze of the burning sky, each fireborn takes the brand of his company, the symbol of his kinship, pressed glowing hot upon his flesh. The pain is excruciating, but none cry out. To do so would dishonor those who fell before them. Instead, we breathe deeply, inhaling the smoke and ash, letting it mingle with our blood. The chaplains recite the ancient words. The flesh burns, the spirit endures. The mark fades, but the fire remains. When the brand is lifted away, the wound glows not from heat, but from within. It is said that those whose hearts are pure burn brightest, their scars shining like molten gold in the dark. I remember the feel of that iron against my skin. I remember the smell of my own burning flesh and the calm that followed. I knew then that pain had become something sacred, a bridge between mortal weakness and the divine endurance of the Forge Father himself. Our scars remind us that we are shaped not by victory, but by survival. That each mark upon us is a story, a proof that we have faced the flame and endured its judgment. It is why, when we fight, we do not flinch. When the bolter jams, when the armor fails, when the world itself turns against us, we endure. For we are the children of a world that burns, and we carry its fire within our veins. The trials, by flame, are not mere tests of strength or survival. They are a philosophy, a way of existence. We call it the Promethean Creed, though outsiders seldom understand it. They see only fire and pain. They see men walking through flame and call us zealots. But we know the truth. The flame does not destroy us, it reveals us. The Creed teaches 3 sacred truths: that endurance is the highest virtue, The flame burns all things, but only that which endures is made strong. Pain is not to be feared, it is to be respected. Through pain, we learn who we are. That strength must serve compassion. Fire gives warmth as easily as it gives death. To wield it is to choose. Vulcan taught us that every act of strength must be guided by mercy. The greatest power is restraint. That creation is holy. The forge is our temple, the hammer our prayer. To create whether weapon, shelter, or hope is to defy the void. In every act of crafting, we echo Vulcan's own hand. Every salamander learns these truths, not through lecture, but through suffering. The forge teaches best by burning. It is said that when the Father forged the first of us, he tempered our spirits, as he would a blade, heating us in pain, cooling us in compassion, shaping us with duty. That is why we build as much as we destroy. Why we stay behind to save those others deemed lost. Why our strength exists not to dominate, but to protect. It is not the fire that defines us, brothers. It is how we choose to burn. Even after ascension, the trials never truly end. For every salamander, there comes a time when battle breaks more than armor. When flame and fury fracture the soul. And when that happens, we return to the forge once more, to undergo the rites of reforging. These rites are performed deep within the Hall of Embers, beneath the fortress monastery. It is a place of quiet and light, where the walls gleam with the glow of molten rivers. The wounded and broken are brought there not just in body, but in spirit. We kneel before the anvil of endurance. Our armor is stripped away, our weapons set aside. The chaplains place their hands upon our scars and speak the words, "As metal bends to the will of the smith, so shall your spirit bend to the will of the flame." The fire is lit anew, and each brother must walk through it once more, not in body, but in mind. The memories of pain, fear, and failure return. We relive the moments we fell, but this time, we do not fight the fire. We embrace it. Only when the spirit accepts its own breaking can it be reforged whole again. I have undergone this rite twice. Once after Morabah, once after Gathis 4. Both times, I emerged scarred anew, yet lighter, as though the burden of guilt had burned away. That is the purpose of the flame, not to destroy, but to purify. For in the end, even we, the sons of fire, must be reforged again and again, until our spirits shine as bright as the Father's forge. There is a fire that never dies, not the burning of the forge, nor the wrath of a sun, but a fire within. It is the heartbeat of Nocturne, the breath of Vulcan himself, the living light that binds all salamanders across space and time. We call it the Flame Eternal. It is said that when Vulcan walked among us, he carried this flame in his soul. It was more than metaphor. A literal manifestation of the Emperor's will. A shard of divine endurance that no darkness could extinguish. When he fell, that flame passed into his sons. Each of us carries a spark of it. Each act of mercy. Each sacrifice. Each defiant stand in the face of impossible odds. All feed the flame eternal. Some believe it dwells still in the chamber of the pyre, deep within Mount Deathfire, where a sacred flame burns without fuel, unguarded, yet unquenched. It is tended by no hand, for it needs none. The heat of it can be felt in the bones of the mountain itself, pulsing like the slow heartbeat of a god. I have knelt before that fire once. I remember the silence that surrounded it. Not absence of sound, but presence. A silence so vast, it felt alive. The air shimmered, the walls wept, molten tears, and I heard within my mind the whisper of the Father. Endure. That single word has guided me through centuries of war. For the flame eternal does not demand worship. It asks only remembrance that we live as its vessels, carrying its light wherever we march. When we fall, it burns on in our brothers. When we triumph, it burns brighter. When we die, our ashes feed the next spark. The flame eternal cannot be killed, because it was never born. It is the Emperor's truth, Vulcan's mercy, and the soul of Nocturne combined the trinity of endurance. It is not in the forge alone that we find it. It is in the laughter of rescued civilians, in the weary nod shared between brothers after battle, in the steady hand that offers warmth in a world of cold. That, brothers, is the secret. We are not merely soldiers of the Imperium, we are its torchbearers. And so long as we endure, so too does the light. You may think the trials by flame are for initiates alone, that once a salamander dons his armor, the testing ceases. It is not so. The flame tests us always. In every war zone, in every act of choice, in every moment where compassion and duty clash like blades, the trial renews itself. For the enemy we battle is not only the heretic, nor the Xenos. It is despair. I have seen it, brothers, the creeping frost of apathy that steals warmth from the soul. The temptation to harden so completely that mercy becomes weakness. That is the true death of a salamander. Not the stopping of the heart, but the cooling of the flame. To fight that death is our greatest trial. We carry weapons that can level cities, armor that can defy death, yet our truest strength lies in the simple act of care. To kneel beside the fallen, to lift the wounded, to stay one moment longer when the bombardment falls, because someone human, fragile, terrified still cries for help. That is what it means to walk through the fire each day and not be consumed. When Vulcan taught us endurance, he did not mean survival alone. He meant purpose. Endure so that others might live. Burn so that others might see. Each battle we fight, each world we save or fail to save, adds another coal to the forge of our spirit. The Promethean path has no end, only deeper fire, greater trials, and the unbroken will to rise again. I have outlived too many campaigns to count. I have seen brothers fall like sparks into the dark, yet still, I walk the path, for I know this truth. The fire does not ask how long you have burned. It asks only that you never go out. And so, brothers, as I stand before the forge, I offer this benediction not as a chaplain, not as a storyteller, but as one who has walked through the fire and lived to bear its light. We are born from a world that knows no mercy. We are shaped by the flame, scarred by it, sustained by it, and in the end, we shall return to it. The trials by flame are not meant to break us. They are meant to reveal us, to strip away all illusion until only truth remains. That truth is this: we are not defined by the strength of our armor, nor the number of our victories. We are defined by the warmth we bring to a cold galaxy. The weak will call our compassion folly. The cruel will call it weakness. Let them, for we know that even the smallest ember can drive back the night. When I die, and I know that day will come, I ask no song, no monument. Let my ashes feed the forge, so that another may rise. Let my flame burn on in the hearts of those who still remember why we fight. And to those who still walk the trials, who still face the pain, the hunger, the doubt. Remember this. You are never alone in the fire. For Vulcan walks with you, and through your endurance, his light endures also. From fire, we are born. By fire, we are tested. Through fire, we endure. In fire, we are reborn. So it was in the beginning, so it shall be, until the last forge cools. I am Sarkhan, keeper of the Promethean flame. And this, brothers, has been my sermon upon the fire that shapes us all. The forge falls quiet, and the embers dim, but the flame endures, as it always has. Carry its light. Brother, keep it close, for the night grows long. Remember the creed. Endure. Create. Protect. When next the fires rise and the anvil rings, we shall speak again, you and I, beneath the shadow of Vulcan's flame. Until that hour, stand firm in the fire. Vulcan lives, and through us, his light will never die.